Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I am Valerie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, here to help guide you on your burning adventures. And I'm joined with hubby,
Okay.
who'll be reading the questions. And today we are playing with colored pencils on our pyrography. So this was a burning I did about a year ago for the review on the Coalwood. And I just had this piece sitting around and decided, hey, let's play with it. Hi, Eve. Hi, Grace. Hi, Lee. Hi, Philip. And this is the original photo I put together. I had to go quickly print it out because, well, it's been a year and I forgot what everything looked like. So that's the kind of what I'm going off of, just so I have an idea of the color. But that's it. Oh, good. It's about time.
So, you already said Eve.
Eve and Grace.
Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Okay. Also, Cheryl Bennett.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Andrew.
I said Heather, right?
Yes, I get
Marie
it.
is here.
Hi, Marie.
Philip is here.
Yep, got Philip.
Okay. Leah Art.
Yes.
Okay. And Andrew's here.
Okay. Now, this chart, though it's watercolor, I did this and hung it up in the window, in the southern window of our living room, May 2nd, 2017. This is Bright Opera from Mission Gold. I wanted to check Lightfastness because somebody said that this had a good Lightfast, and I thought this was a great example because you're going to run into this with colored pencil. This is what it looks like when a color is not Lightfast and it fades. That's the original color, and I don't know how well you can see, but right here,
Really well.
that I didn't have it fully blocked, and so some light came down underneath here. I accidentally ripped that, but oh well. So this was after, if you notice, all the colors are the same. I should have pulled this after July of last year, but I didn't. So you can get a really good visual on 10 months of really not strong light. I mean, we had summer and we had winter. Winter, the sun is lower in the sky, so there's more exposure, but we also have trees and whatnot. So when you're coloring a piece, even on wood, you do have to worry about your colors fading. So that was what I wanted to pull out with the owl and forgot. So,
and that where that was placed, it's a lot of indirect light.
yes,
it's not like directly in the sun.
Yeah. So if you're hanging your wood burnings in even indirect light, you do have to worry about this happening to your colors if you don't protect it, or if you choose colors that fade. Now, I pulled out some Prismacolor and some Polychromos to play, and I do know that not all Prismacolor are Lightfast. Oh, quit making noise. My goodness. all the Prismacolors, not every one of them are Lightfast.
Is that muted?
And they don't have it marked on the pencils. Now on the Polychromos, there might be some that have questionable Lightfastness, but they do put a star rating on the pencil after the color number, and the more stars that are on the Polychromos, the more Lightfast the pencil is, and more likely for the color to stick around. When a color is not Lightfast, I believe it will fade in under 25 years. This was 10 months, and wood even will have the same issue. So we have to pay attention to that when coloring, and I know that the purples and some of the reds and yellows on the Prismacolor are not Lightfast, but I have UV spray that will help that. And I forgot to pull out the chart. There's a chart on Prismacolor's website that shows you what colors are and aren't Lightfast. So let's just get started.
Okay. Annette Blocker is here.
Hi,
She
Annette.
says, love this piece when you did it. Heather Cat Lady is asking about your pup. I'm assuming it's Amber.
Yes.
Okay.
He's still working on getting better. He's a grumpy old lady. Sometimes it takes time. But thank you, Heather.
And also Tony Fleming is here.
Hi, Tony.
And Heather has a question. She asked, do UV blocking sealers work to keep the color true even if it is light fast?
Even if the color itself, yes.
Okay.
That, in fact, I forgot to grab it. Where is it? Where is it?
What am I looking for?
Up in the cabinet, because there's another UV spray. I left the other one in the kitchen because I was cleaning the...
This cabinet?
Yeah, left side. Yep, up top to the right. Sorry, guys.
The UVR?
Yes, okay. That one. So this is the brand that I use. Oh, it helps if I show it to you in the right spot. And this one's semi-gloss. I don't think it really matters on the finish because with colored pencil, after it's colored, you need to do a couple of coats of the spray, polyacrylic or polyurethane, just to seal in the color so it doesn't smear. And then you can spray a couple layers of the UV archival and then do your sealing with whatever varnish you choose after that. Brush on. So I think, because I really like that blue, I think I'm going to start with a blue on here. And let me pick, and I didn't pick all the best colors, I'm sure. So this one, it really doesn't matter on the color. It's going to matter on the contrast, which we already have down because of the burning. Now the Prismacolor, all colored pencils have wax and oil in their base, but some colors or some brands have more wax. It means they're a softer pencil, like the Prismacolor, or they have more oil, like the Polychromos, the Prismacolor Very Thins, the Caran d'Ache Pablos. So they're a harder lead, but still very usable. And I did pull out the Finesse color pencil blending pen, but you can also use Mona Lisa paint thinner, odorless mineral spirits, sorry, which would be this. And I wouldn't use the stuff from the hardware store. It's not meant for art. It's meant for wood. And you can also use a like a Prismacolor blending colorless blender as well. So you've got options there, but I highly recommend using art supplies because those won't have an issue on archival for your piece later on down the road. So I'm just going to try to blend this in a little bit. Now I don't want all of the wax covering up the burning. This part is personal. However you want to color your burnings is your choice. But I spent all that time burning. I don't want to lose it. So I kind of picked a mid color and now I'm going in darker.
So Esme is here.
Hi Esme.
And P Liner Art is here. So it's finally caught a live one.
Hi Patricia.
And also Mark's here.
Hey Soup Can.
He says shh because he's in class right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's teaching this semester at his local high school. Hello Soup Can. Mark. So I'm just trying to blend this in, blend them together, but if you notice, even though the wood is sanded smooth, we still have, let me find a non-glare, we still have the grain popping up. We also are going to have the wood color interfering just a bit with the pencil color. It's going to alter. Let's zoom in.
Sheila Edwards is here.
Hi Sheila. Hopefully that's still clear. There we go. Alright, so, and because I wet the grain, it's going to raise it a little bit. And even though this is alcohol, it's still going to raise the grain slightly. That's going to have to be okay. And see how much brighter this blue got once I layered a darker blue and blended. I haven't lost my burning, which is what I don't want to lose. Let's see here. I do need this darker. Hopefully my hand's not away. I know there's a glare. I tried so hard to find the best angle for you guys. And I did link all of the pencils and supplies down in the description. And I have a new kit page where I can put together kits so that it's easier for you guys to find what I'm recommending. I haven't added colored pencils yet, but I do have basic burning on there if you want to check that out, and you can click and go straight to the website to order. Blend this in, see if we're moving, and just to clean off the tip, it's just a matter of wiping it off on a piece of paper until it runs clear.
Mark is saying hi to us. He also says great values on that burn. And Otokano, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he says,
Hi, Odo.
she says, hello everyone. Hi everyone. And what a beautiful piece.
Thank you. Now, they pulled out the Polychromos black, and normally it would be easier to put the Polychromos down first, but because I blended, it's wiped away some of the wax from the colored pencil. So I'm just layering up where I want my darks. And I'll just put some more indigo on top. Now the colors themselves don't matter. One, you're going to choose the colors that work for you and your piece. And two, we still want to keep this contrast. That is the most, that's what's going to help this piece the most. So let's get this in here. And then we're going to add some white. And I think I took this picture. I threw some of the shiny rock things with a maple leaf and an oak leaf from our yard.
And Blocker is asking a question.
Yes, please.
So of all the burners that you've used, which do you prefer the most?
The optimal one, and dual or single, whatever fits your budget better. I have the dual, and I do have a review on it, but it by far has been my favorite burner. And it's definitely a higher quality than a couple of them on the market, and it's better price. So I'm trying to put in some light blue. Hopefully we're getting less of a glare. I don't normally color this much on my burnings, but hey, let's see what happens. And I also pulled out some noisy stuff. I pulled out some blending stumps to kind of work the colored pencil into the wood. The grain is still going to be there, and depending on how much colored pencil you layer on top will decide as to whether it looks, how deep of a almost stain look it gets, because that's really what you're doing, is you're staining the wood. Now you can keep layering over and over and building up a lot of that color, but then in my opinion you kind of lose your burning. And you've already spent all that time on that burning. You really don't want to lose it. But that is, of course, personal preference. You color it however you want to. I'm trying to make it so this looks more rounded. Though it is a bit flat on the top. And after the live, I will go pull the chart for the Prismacolor so you can see the light fast. That way it's easier. I do wish they put the number or the rating on the pencils, but they don't. So having a chart handy for when you're going to color, swatching out your colors and knowing what you're going to be picking out will help. Let's see here. But I really don't want to cover the burning and lose it. Do I need to zoom in a little bit more?
No, the tablet's just did something weird.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And then putting white on top. See, on this, we're going to, when you're doing regular color pencil, you have to worry about
Sorry.
losing the tooth of your paper. Well, for the wood, we really don't have any tooth. So it's a harder to layer sometimes. But the Prismacolor white, both in the regular Prismacolor or the very thin, are the brightest whites. So it's just a matter of building it up. And I definitely want to work on the leaf that's behind this because it's a maple leaf with reds in it. And I'm curious to see how that looks. Oops, I'm a little crazy there.
Otokano has a question.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been doing pyrography?
I have been doing pyrography. I'm on my 12th year. Self-taught. Lots of trial and error and sweat and tears.
You know, you said something interesting. Self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that pyrography is taught anywhere.
Yeah, it is. There's people who do classes.
Yeah, but at the university level?
At university level, no. No, they don't. Unless they want to hire me. I have not seen a university level for this art form. But they're apparently there's at least one school in Washington who is teaching this as an art class. That's what Pat was telling me. They just did a big order for up there. Let's see here. And if I have to go back, there's a product called brush and pencil titanium white that's meant to layer on top of colored pencil, and I've been wanting to buy it. I probably should. So that's where we're at with our blue. You can still see our burning through it. It's a little bit more than I would normally do, but that's okay. Now we have kind of reddish areas along the edge. And actually I'd say it's more of a red violet along the edge of our leaves. So I want to put those in first. So I think the thing is what I haven't done yet, and I do recommend you doing, is taking a scrap piece of wood and swatching out your colors so you can see how your colors interact with that wood. And I'm going to stick with the first pencil I have.
Mark has a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working this way, does your palm rubbing against the burned areas affect it at all? Whether smudging or getting oil on the wood?
No, I have not noticed a problem with that.
And Lee Art says that Lee Art would love to do a class with you.
Thank y'all. It means everybody would have to come to northern Arizona. Not that that's a bad thing. Let's see here. I'm just...
Oh, Podge is here.
Hey, Podge.
Just looking awesome as usual.
Well, thank you. This was a kind of a spur of the moment. I'm trying to finish up the special piece. The video is going to be up on Thursday for the Animal Artist Collective. And I've been seeing a lot of people really branching out into color more. So I figured, hey, let's play. And I already had this burned, so it was one less thing I had to worry about. It was already ready to go.
Heather is also complimenting your work.
Thank you. I guess. And sometimes you don't even have to blend it in. I mean, with this leaf, it already has texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it really needs to be smoothed out.
So you're just kind of tinting, like...
Basically.
Yeah. So we were talking about Grisaille's.
Grisaille, or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't know. Grisaille.
Sort
of
out.
Which one is it? It's French, so.
Eve would be the person to ask.
Person to ask, exactly. But when you're adding color, it's a very similar process, isn't it?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes, because I've used basically a sepia burn, and I rubbed my hand right there. My finger where I had smeared with my... Yeah.
Well, Mark says he's run many a drawing from rubbing his palm on the paper. He wasn't sure how it would react. I have ruined my face from
yes, you do.
many a drawing.
You're horrible at it.
I tend to not be aware of graphite and paint and things on my hand, so.
And then rubs his face.
Yeah.
He comes home looking like he's been in a fight. Black eyes. And...
What Valarie doesn't know is that I'm not actually at university. I'm actually at Fight Club.
You're at Fight Club?
But I'm not supposed to talk about it. That's the first rule.
It will smear. Because your hand is heating up the wax. For this piece, it's small enough that I'm keeping my hand off of it. I would cover it with at least a piece of paper, just so my hand wasn't moving the color around. The heat from your hand would wax the melt the wax. Wow, that was backwards. But since my hand's staying off of it, I'm not worried about it. Let's see here. This is dark. And I burned it dark. So I may not be able to get a whole lot of color in here. But I could tint the burning a little bit, I think. There's some people that, color their burnings just like they would on, paper. But for me, I want it to be an accent, not the main. So...
Lee Art says, never been in the U.S., so it'd be a great experience. And Odokano, hopefully I'm not butchering that. Odo says, self-taught. Wow, you are so talented.
Oh, thank you.
She's determined, I'll tell you that.
That's probably the biggest thing, is being determined.
Yes. Someone probably told you at one point that you couldn't do pyrography. And then,
No.
Then Belle's career was born. I'll show them.
No, not this time. Alright. So this leaf, I'm going to try the polychromos again. The polychromos do lay down well on the wood. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about color names because your leaf is going to look different if you do one.
Oh, Mark's got to go. He's got
Bye,
to get back
Mark.
to class. Breaks over. Says bye, everyone.
Have fun storming the castle.
Bye, Soup Can.
Alright. So, because I am going lightly, it is more of a tint, almost like a photo tint would.
Grace says, Val, stubborn? Never. Wow.
See?
Grace knows you
See?
better than I thought.
She knows I'm not stubborn.
What?
So he's trying to blend in. And because I know reds and greens are opposite on the color wheel, I know if I blend them in together a bit, that I'm going to get a kind of a brownish tone. And for my leaves, that works. But I am trying to keep some of that color separated because I really like the red, and I'm going to add more to it, make it brighter.
Apparently Bernadette's
Again,
not at work today.
I didn't get a chance to test that first. But I do want to add some more green into this, a brighter green. And where I've burned darker, the burn's going to kind of act like a resist. So it's not going to accept all of the colored pencil. And that's what makes it lighter. Now I could kill my hand and press down hard, but I don't feel it needs it. And I am going with the grain, and that is, I think, one of the reasons it's popping out more. Right here, looks like there was a scratch. That's why. Now, if I had issues with the burning, which is not perfect, but if I had issues and wanted to burn over it, all this area, I absolutely can't burn over it anymore. I mean, technically, yes, you can physically burn over it, but to burn over the wax, the oil, and the pigment in any pencil, you are opening yourself up to getting sick. It may not happen the first time or the second time you do it, but as you're burning more and you get into that habit, and I will say that is a bad habit, and I have been seeing this a lot lately, and I don't understand why. I mean, I kind of do. People working on an area and then saying they're done with it and adding color to, say, an eye or a beak or whatever the subject is they're working on. But now that they've done that, they have closed off that ability to go back and fix anything or darken anything because they've added this color. So I highly recommend, suggest, nicely ask, however you want to put it, that once you pick up your pencils to color, your burner stays off. And just... What? What was that about?
Nothing.
Did I miss something?
No, just you.
Just me? Why?
Kovacs Adri says, Zia Valarie, which I don't know what that means, but I think it's hi.
Hello. And I believe that is one of my awesome Turkish followers. Cool. That I don't speak Turkish. Google is my friend. And I translate and then copy. Yeah. So I don't speak it. But it's really cool to see the comments.
You know, there's also all kinds of, I mean, health hazards aside, which are real.
Yes.
You know, there's all kinds of issues with burning over because you're actually melting and then you're burning the wax. You're burning it into the grain. So it's going to look different than the rest of the piece.
Yes.
After that.
I saw in one of the groups that a lady knew he shouldn't, burn over color, and it was colored pencil, I believe, and really wanted to fix something, and thought, hey, well, there's only a couple of layers on it, and it's only a little bit, so it should be okay. And so he did it, and ended up in the hospital less than a week later, having major breathing issues.
I believe it. You never know. You never know what's going to interact. When I was much younger, I was trying to repair a leather glove with super glue, because I was younger, and I thought that would be good. Anyway, with just a drop of super glue, once I hit the glove, I don't know what was on the glove, whether it was the dye. I have no idea, but there was just a immediate reaction, and it almost knocked me out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was really, really severe. Just, yeah, as soon as I breathed in the fumes, which wasn't much, it was just instantaneous, though. So
that's good to know.
You never know, because, you've got a hot pen, and, you decide, well, I'll just burn over this, it'll be fine, and then next thing, you're face down on your burning with your house on fire.
Oh, gosh. So, that is like, ugh.
And that
worst case scenario.
Is why I don't do pyrography.
He sits on his hands in my studio. No, can't touch. Yes.
Stuff with my oven mitts on.
Oh, I guess I thought of that.
Grace says, lesson learned. We should have never invented fire.
So this has a little bit of orange. It looks like this part of the leaf was turning first. So
Eve says, rule of thumb, never heat stuff up.
Yep.
Unless you're actually doing pyrography, because it's necessary.
Yeah, do your burning first and get that where you're really happy with it. And I know why people do it, because they get excited, they finished a part, and they have a vision in their head, and they want to get to that part of the vision, and patience kind of, flies out the window, and so they're coloring because they want to see how it looks, and it's just not a good practice. It's not a good habit to get into. And there's been a couple of times I was like, oh, I need to darken this. Oh, no, put color on it. And I just have to walk away. It has to be okay.
The art gods say, slow down. Unless it's an art goddess. And then it's, slow down.
So, this part's a little browner. And if you notice with this, I haven't blended any of the color in. I'm actually kind of liking that.
Yeah, I think it looks really nice. I don't think it needs a lot of color.
The thingy, clear rock thingy, glass
ingot.
Okay, that thing needs brighter highlights. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that in there.
Did you know that a lot of those ingots are the result of industrial processes, and they sell them off to art stores?
Huh.
Yeah, and
makes sense.
Landscaping stuff, rather than remelt them or throw them away.
Well, then we get to decorate our studios with them.
Fun fact.
I forgot this side of the leaf. Actually, there is a bit of red in here. Let's see. No, that's not the red I was using for that. I'm using this one. Let's get that in there. Let's see here, that one. Okay, this one is part of this leaf.
Philip says, looking very nice. Love the way the colors mixed.
Well, thank you. It's all about layers. And I guess that's my motto. It's all about the layers.
All about the layers. Well, that should go on a t-shirt, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Another one to make.
Hmm?
That's another one to make.
Yep.
I need to get back on that after I finish. On Thursday, the thing I need to get done. The thing I teased Philip about, and yeah, he gave me a hard time. He said I wasn't playing nice.
So, I'm going to get my Viking horn ready now. Andrew has a question.
Okay.
Valarie, does the same apply to ink from the printer when transferring images onto the wood?
Are we burning over the... Hold on. I'm killed. No, thank you. Although I do have a little... Now, are we talking about the process of burning over these inkjet and or laser lines, or are we just talking about transferring and leaving it be? If we're talking about, and this is a silicone color shaper, and there is a little bit of color coming off.
This looks like a blue brush to me.
I know. I'm just kind of blending it into the wood, kind of pushing.
Oh, I see. It's rubber.
Yeah,
Silicone.
it's silicone. Now, yes, the same thing applies. In fact, that's an even bigger no-no, and I have contacted the printer companies, and Canon got back to me and said specifically, don't do it. It is toxic to burn over the laser jet lines. The ink is not meant to come into contact with heat, and between the fact that you're burning wood, so you're already releasing carbons into the air, when you add that printer ink that has toxic written all over it and then burning it, even if you don't smell it, you're still putting it off into the air, and it will make you sick. I've gotten into actual heated discussion with a couple people who've they've been doing it for years and had no problem, which I kind of call BS, that they've been doing it for years. But anyway, saying that they have no problems with it, it doesn't make them sick, blah, blah, blah. The printer companies, the couple other ones that got back to me were like, "Ooh, we don't know, so we're not saying anything." But Canon did go out on a limb and went and talked to their scientists, and apparently I started quite a conversation with the scientists because they were going back and forth on the laser jet or inkjet burning it issue, and this consensus came back of don't do it. And that includes the pyro paper that you print out on, the stick and burn, all that stuff. It's meant to make your life easier, I get it, but it is all hazardous. And I'm probably going to get a comment on the pyro paper, of which I do have, and it does not work very well. And I hate to say that, but it doesn't.
It would be nice if it did.
It'd be nice if it did. But again, you've got ink on that paper, and so you're burning through that paper onto your surface. You're burning that ink. And that is a big no-no. Graphite is your safe bet. I know it's quite the pain and takes time. A projector is another good option so that you're not having to deal with graphite paper, just your pencil lines.
Or a light pad if you're working in paper.
Yeah. And I do have my special video that's going up on Thursday. I actually used the light pad for that, and I did record using the light pad, so that's in the video too. So anytime you're burning over any chemical, you really run the risk of making yourself, and not only yourself, but those around you, sick. And I know burning takes so long, and I know people want to get excited to get it done, but you just gotta... Taking shortcuts does not help to improve your art. Making mistakes and taking that extra time does. And I'm probably going to get some dislikes for this one, but you know what? That's just okay. I'd rather people be safe.
Me too.
I am looking at a process that could help things, but I need to test it. I still have to contact the company to, oh, that's brown, to get some samples of the paper. It is Pat's, it's a process that Pat came up with, but I need to test it first. So that's why I'm not talking too much about it. I don't talk to you guys about anything that I haven't done or that I think is not safe. We all have animals and or kids or loved ones or ourselves.
Yeah, and Esme makes a good point, and it is a point that's actually been. She's just the last one to make the point, because other folks in chat have said variations of this. The people that say that it doesn't hurt say that because they don't feel anything wrong, but the effects are probably not going to manifest until much later on in their life.
Yep.
And then they'll regret it, but they may not even know why they're getting sick at that point.
Yeah, because it's so long ago and they haven't had the issues. I'm begging everybody, be safe. This is such a fun, whether it's hobby or your professional art, it's so fun, but it has its issues. And you just have to be smart and safe about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes cutting corners just isn't going to help. It's going to cause you more issues. And I know, and I hate having to post or answer somebody's comment on like Facebook about this, because then I sound like I am the killjoy. That I am being the parent and telling you what's wrong. And I have been accused of that. And I can go kiss my ass for all I care. I don't like seeing people who don't know and somebody gives them the wrong information and cause themselves issues.
So it's a little jarring sometimes when you start going off.
Why?
It's like
I'm not going
it's like
off.
It's like if Bob Ross pulled out a switchblade and started advancing upon the camera. They were
No.
like, whoa. Calm down, Bob. Look at the trees.
Happy trees. Alright, so I could keep messing with this, but I'm actually quite happy with that. Viking Val. Yeah. Maybe I should get a helmet.
Maybe.
Or put a helmet on Bernadette. There you go. Alright, so this oak leaf is actually a brighter green. Back on camera. It's actually a yellower green. So what I could do is put a base of yellow down first and then layer my green on top, because though they are colored pencils, they do still have some transparency to them, and we are glazing and blending and layering color. So, and I haven't lost my burning. It is still in there. And I will tell you, this is probably the most I've ever done with colored pencil, but I'm actually quite happy with it.
Andrew is thanking you for your advice.
Yeah.
That's the short version.
That's a short version.
You have to reach out later. Yeah, there's some stories in chat about people who have sensitivities, or they have stories about different things that happen to them regarding chemicals.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
Until it happens.
Nope.
And then, okay, this one's Prismacolor. If you notice, the Prismacolor is brighter than the Polychromos that I laid down. Though the Polychromos was a lighter color, because the Prismacolor is a lighter, softer pencil. It lays down smoother, and the Polychromos are a little more transparent. You don't have to have both colors, but they do work well together.
Lee Art says the tip of the leaves are gorgeous, which I agree. There's a really nice quality there. And also Lisa Furmeister is here.
Hey Lisa, hope you're feeling better. It's been a while. There we go. I'm just going to lay down. I'm not pressing too hard, and I'm just kind of squiggling it around. Let's see. The yellow, it's not picking it up as well as I like. There we go. Is that a little better for you guys? You think that's better, love?
I do.
The color, though, is still kind of muted. The color on my board, on what I'm seeing, is brighter than what you guys are seeing. I'll leave it at that for now. We got some yellow here. And some yellow here. Hopefully I'm still on the board. And got some yellow in here. Actually, I can move these colors out of my way. Now, did I pull a brighter green? Don't think I did, actually. In my head, I was thinking that the leaves were more gone than they are. Oh, I did do this one. Let's see what this one looks like.
That's where I do all of my thinking. It's in my head.
I'm thinking.
Zena's hair
is everywhere.
It was stuck in the pop shield here.
She's never been in our studio, in my studio, but boy, her hair sure is here.
I know.
Our Great Pyrenees is blowing out her winter coat, and it's everywhere.
Yeah. 3 bags so far.
3 bags?
3 grocery store bags of hair. And that's not even grooming her. That's just what
falls off.
That's just what's been falling. Yeah, it falls off. It looks like fall, only with hair instead of leaves.
Alright, so I'm just wiping off the silicone. And actually, I think I like the silicone color shaper on the wood better for blending. I am lifting less color from the board than when I use the blender pen. And these come in all different sizes. I don't have these in the description, but I will put them in there.
I guess Heather's having the same problem with it.
Yeah, we talked about that on the Saturday Eve's live.
MP Langer Art.
Patricia.
Okay, Patricia. Sorry.
See you.
Patricia says that is so gorgeous, Val. I'm really impressed.
Thank you. I'm actually quite happy with this. A lot more happy with it than I thought I would be. I'm glad I did it. Okay. The thing is I didn't sign this.
She'll have to sign it in pencil.
I guess so. I'll do it in brown ink. And unfortunately, I used the back as a testing for the straight edge. Oh. It's alright, though. I would still actually frame this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to go against what I said earlier and sign my initials right here where there's no color because I said not to.
Eve says, Val, happy with things she did. I know, I wasn't going to say anything, but I was thinking it.
What?
You said you're happy with your work.
Knock on wood. Yeah, I am. I'm liking the more muted color, even though I'm using some bright color. I'm still able to keep. Does it still look like pyrography to you?
I think it does. But I think that the thing with pyrography is that if you don't know what it is, if it's done well, it's going to look like sepia. It's going to look like ink. It's going to look like a photo. It's going to look like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, it still looks like pyrography.
That's my biggest thing.
Heather's asking, can you sign it on a place where you haven't done pencil?
I can, but I don't want to be a hypocrite and
I knew that's why.
Turn my burner on after I just said don't do it. That's the only reason why.
Because you wouldn't be signing it over which is the thing that you're saying not to do. So
that's the main reason why I'm not. Let's see. Be sure I haven't smeared any color that I don't see and feel any wax, and I don't. I just put it over there. What pen do I got on? I put everything away. The Pat did send me a new pen to try. And this is what I've done with my pens, because I know I have put this.
you put them in a jar?
I put them in a jar.
I've got a ceramic thing that's that size.
But I kind of...
You like it being clear?
Yeah, I kind of like it being clear. So this is, I mean...
Okay.
This way I see my pins. They're all in one spot. And this is just a candle that I washed out the glass. And have the glass thingies in. Anyway, let me do this real quick. And this way I can see my pins, but actually I might have to get one with a bigger mouth. Alright. I'm not going to go dark with it. I'm just going to preface this with, don't do this.
Well, okay. But what you're saying to do, you're not doing.
I know that, but I would prefer people got in the habit of not turning on their burners at all once they get to
That point.
Yep. That's the biggest.
But I think as long as, I feel like I'd be contradicting you. I'll shut up.
Don't do this. I was rushing and I shouldn't. It's bigger than I want, but it's on there. So I just let it be. I normally go smaller.
Don't do what Donnie Don't does.
I did use pencil first, just to. Alright, I don't normally go that big. Alright, let's go back to the stuff. So, if all possible, don't do that. I know I did,
but you
better for you not
over anything.
No, I did not.
On the bare wood.
No, there was no wax. There's no color, but it's definitely not a good habit to get into. Let's blend this out a little bit. Let's see here. So this color, let's see how that looks for highlight. Kind of works better than the white.
Is asking, does the burning of the wood cause the muted look of the colors?
I'm sorry, what?
Does the wood burning, is that what's causing the muted look?
Yes. Well, that is on wood. There's less tooth, meaning less roughness to the wood, so less pigment is getting laid down. I mean, yeah, you can go darker, and honestly, I think if I use some of the Mona Lisa odorless mineral spirits, that the colors would come out a bit brighter.
I don't think you
like
need
the
to,
blue.
do you?
I don't feel like I do.
Because this has a really nice quality to it.
I do need to darken some of the green up. Now, one of these glass stone thingies is clear, and this one's got a pink tint to it. Let's see here. I got a roughness on the color pencil right there. Let's see if I can kind of make it go away. But I am liking the color shaper. And I am wiping off if I'm not, like this is the green and the yellow, so I'm fine with that being on the color shaper. But if I was going to turn around and blend into the blue, I'd wipe it off first so it wasn't transferring the colors. These do come in different sizes and shapes. And these are good for masking fluid. and ceramics. So they have multiple purposes. And I actually find that I'm using them more than I realized I would. So this is the Polychromos.
Just like SeaWorld.
What?
Has multiple purposes.
Bad. Bad.
Oh.
Ah, dad joke.
It's your job.
That's your job. So I'm just trying to darken this up a little bit. I am pushing a little further, or pushing down a little bit more. And that's just so I can get a little more color down. And let's flip it this way. You can also use, though it's going to darken when you seal it, you can also use pastel pencils too. Those actually work really well on wood. And maybe I should do another piece on that. Curious to see how that would look.
See what kind of delay we had reacting to my joke.
Oh, goodness.
SMH, Jason. Really, Grace? Malamic Art says, hi, Val.
Hey, Mickey. Let's see. All right.
Yes, Heather, you can groan at that one.
All right. Trying to pick a... Now, this is more of a... Well, it says yellow chartreuse. So, let's see how it works with the green. I'm just trying to get some of that brighter yellow in here. I am looking to see how it's laying on top of the burning, because in the darker areas it can make it look kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not muddy in this case, but you can tell, like if you look, let's see if I can get this in here, right here, that it looks cloudy. Cloudy is the word I want. And I don't want that over my burning. It looks less natural that way. So with my blending pen, I can clean up the area. It'll pick up the pigment. Or I'll check with the color shaper. Let's see how well that does on cleaning up the area. Because I do have color on this burning. And I do see a bit of cloudiness. And if I just brushed on my polyacrylic, it would completely activate. Even though these are colored pencils, not watercolors, they would smear as I was brushing on. And I have done that.
And P. Langer has got to go.
Bye, Patricia.
Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for stopping by. Let's see here. Let's see. So I'm going back and forth between the Polychromos and the Prismacolor. I do have two sets of Prismacolor. These are my, let's see here. I think this is an older pencil. I got lucky on Black Friday and picked up the 150 set for the for the Prismacolor for $49. I do have it listed down in the description for the large set. And that one comes with two pencil sharpeners, which one of them is the Prismacolor sharpener for $87. There was something I wanted to do, but I didn't talk to you about it first.
Huh?
There's something I wanted to do.
Do you know what it was that you wanted to do?
What?
Do you know what it was?
I do know what it was.
No.
But I didn't get to talk to you before at first to get your opinion before I said anything.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to mute us for a minute because I really want to ask him about this. So I'm going to keep moving my hand. But I am going to mute for just a second. Okay, hopefully you can hear us again.
And so then the talk said, oh.
Okay. Hopefully we didn't lose a bunch of people because it went quiet for a second.
No, they're making a lot of snarky remarks.
Snarky?
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Grace.
Okay, see, on the camera it doesn't look as colorful as it is.
Well,
The colors are the lights.
a little bit.
Let's see here. No, it's still not picking it up. Maybe it's my settings. Alright. Do I need that light?
Actually,
I don't think I need that.
on the tablet it's coming out just fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so
that's probably
the TV. Well, I changed those settings. Alright.
Yeah, you can tell the color's just fine.
So, let's move on to I don't know. This one was a peach color. I don't want to keep it peach. I think I did a little more pink with that one.
Apparently.
I didn't do it.
No, I did Grace. She said block reported.
Don't take her off.
Let's
see here. Do a little purple.
People in suits coming to escort me away, Grace. Is that what's going on?
Alright, let's see here. I'm not sure what colors. Alright.
Andrew says looking brilliant.
We'll do, thank y'all. We'll do this one, I guess purple. And this one, you can really see it laying down. I kind of squiggled the line, and that was showing up. The squiggles are showing. So lighter pressure for the lighter color. We'll see how well that blends with just the color shaper. And go a little darker. Let's see here. Oh, we got a leaf bag there that I missed. That's alright. I'm trying not to go over the areas that would have the white. That way, hopefully the white will stand out better.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to miss those.
So I can't make dad jokes, but Heather can make a joke like that.
Oh, speaking of which,
Whatever.
YouTube, I so forgot this. YouTube has made it where the live chat it will be on the replays. And that means chat will show up just like it was a live video, like what we're doing now.
What, does it show up sequentially, like moment by moment?
Yes, it's going to play exactly the way they are looking at it right now.
Well, that's not going to be confusing for some people.
I know.
But some people,
Pat?
I mean me.
Oh, I was supposed to say hi, Pat, just in case he messed up again.
Oh.
So anyway, we do have an option to turn that off after the live, and because I appreciate you guys having fun in chat and just talking about whatever you guys want to talk about and hanging out, you know, and having fun, I don't want people to clam up because they're worried about what we'll show later, so I'm turning it off. So as soon as the live ends, I need to remember to turn that off, and then it won't be on the replay. And I guess I want to do that because I like that you guys are having fun in chat, and I don't care that it's not always about burning stuff, you know? I like that you guys are talking amongst yourselves and making more friends and being supportive of each other. I don't want you to stop. And if somebody feels nervous about it being on the replay, I don't want them to not participate. So I will be turning it off.
Okay. Andrew's asking, do you always use a dark background? What not to work on?
This mat that I've got down right here is just a piece of the foam stuff. This normally sits underneath my easel to keep it from moving. And I figured because I've got a white counter that the board would show up a little bit better on the dark, so I just left it. And that's for no other reason. Just hoping it would show up better on camera. Alright, so that's not blending out the way I'd want it. So, I still have some purple on the tip, so I'm just going to leave it. Let's see how well that blends out.
That one still works. It does.
I didn't test them.
Well, that one works, but the other ones don't.
Okay.
It's weird.
Which one is it? Oh. So, just blend this. I can feel the grain. So, I think it's just easier to work with the grain and for the color. Let's see here. Do you think that could be a little darker? And then I think I'm just going to add white to this one. And a little bit of shading under the leaf. And then I think we will call it done. Let's see here. Are you playing with my mouse?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing my job. Don't tell me to do my job and then harass me about it.
Playing with my mouse.
Grace says, Val likes this. Best day ever.
Let's see here.
Actually, Grace also said, it's alright. Who's Val been replaced by? Yeah.
Oh, it is alright. You gotta be positive with yourself when you can.
I agree.
So, if I'm always getting down on myself, that doesn't help others, does it? Other than, yeah, they see that, you know, I get just as frustrated as they do. But I'm trying to blend some of this in. This does lift some of the color, and that's why you see it lightening. It's lifting the color from the wood.
Grace says, call him out, Val.
Out? You're out? I don't know. What am I calling him out for, Grace?
I don't know.
What'd he do?
I don't know.
Just because I'm live and talking imply doesn't mean that I'm listening. Oh, sorry, I needed a drink. Sometimes I'm just going.
That's true.
Let's see here. I need some dark here I am trying to follow my burning as much as I can. Let's see here. Because of the angle I'm at, I'm having a harder time seeing.
Oh, for the mouse.
For the mouse.
For the mouse.
Oh. Yeah, he's playing with my mouse.
Well, if that's the way Grace feels, then I'll just hand over mouse duties to Bernadette.
Oh gosh. Uh-oh.
And she'll get
What did you do, Grace?
more of Bernadette then.
What did you do, Grace?
Let's
see here. I'm going to zoom in. I think I zoomed out too much, didn't I? Let's go back. Let's get back in here. Alright. And as soon as I put the white in, I think this will look a little more round. So, oh, that's a polychromos white. Did not realize it. Did not realize I grabbed the polychromos white.
Don't get yelled at.
I lost pencils. Where did my other white go? Okay. We'll do this. This has a really high highlight right there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get with the pencil.
Mm.
So,
how would you do that? How would you get it a high highlight?
With colored pencil. Let's see, I have to worry about... Oh, okay. I think I know what I would do. I have to worry about anything that I put on top of the colored pencil that is not meant to be on top of colored pencil. There's going to be issues with flaking and things rubbing off. But what I can do is do my couple layers of the spray sealant, do that, and then I could turn it and use acrylic ink or acrylic wash or any white opaque substance that I want and put that for my highlights, and then they would really, really stand out because they're not soaking into the wood. There's a couple of layers separating, thin layers, but still a couple of layers separating the color and what I'd be putting on top.
Yeah.
And since the wood's sealed in, that color is not soaking in. So it would be extremely white in doing that. So you'd have to be prepared for that. But it is definitely doable. So I think that's... I can't... Unfortunately, I can't spray that stuff now and give it a try. Because, one, it would take the sealant 2 hours to dry. It's dry to the touch, you know, in under an hour, but in order for me to put anything on top, you're going to have to wait a little while. So what I can do is I can seal this, and next week I can either show it during the live, of which I have no idea that I'm doing next week, or I'll say I'll post some pictures on Facebook. I had to say, though, I might be a little worried about doing it.
Why?
Oh, well, I get nervous just like anybody else does on adding more to my piece. And I worry about messing stuff up too. And procrastinate on doing this, that, or the other because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. My special piece has got me all kinds of worked up.
Yeah. Andrew says white gouache.
White gouache, yeah, you can use that after. But if you used it now, you have to worry about the white gouache, the wetness of it raising more of the grain, of it soaking in, and white gouache is already a lighter white than like the acrylic gouache or the acrylic ink or anything like that. So you have to worry about it fading if I did it directly on the wood, or lifting, because I have the color pencil down and then I would be putting a water base over wax, and those two don't work together. I can put water base down first and then wax on top of it and it's just fine. But if I put the water on top of the wax, it is more likely to lift and move around and not have the results that you wanted. So I will try using sealing and then putting my white on top. Alright, so quickly, I'm going to move over to, see if I can get it darker with this. Do this real quick. Now if I go directly on the wood, it's going to be whiter than if there was color down first. So what I should have done is actually put the white down first, and then I could have colored on top to make it not as bright. So,
Eve says it looks really nice, Val.
oh, thank you. Remember, we got a cast light down at the bottom. See, this Prismacolor on just the raw wood, on just the burning, with no other color underneath it, works very well. So, I think in the future, I would lay the white down first, and then go around with my color. That would be another easy fix for future, because that really, the white really does stand out.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what I want. Let's see here. But we do have a bit of gray in here. Let's get that. This is a Polychromos. It's not laying down as well over the burning. I need my shaper. I definitely want to clean the shaper off this time because I was moving around the purples and pinks. And see, I didn't clean it off well enough.
It looks really good. The depth, Andrew says the depth looks fantastic.
Thank you. Let's see here. Move that color. And I know I pulled the black out. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
Heather says beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually surprisingly happy with how this is turning out. I don't use a lot of black, but the black for this is helping. And it'll kind of gray down some of the... Let's see here. Again, I don't want to lose the burning completely, and I do feel like I lost some burning in the oak leaf, but not in the maple leaf. But the oak leaf was lighter, so that could be part of it. Alright, I think I'm going to leave that white the way it is. So that was the Prismacolor white over the raw wood. I do think this needs some darker.
Melanie McGart says, yes, it looks photorealistic. Awesome work. And Grace says, it looks wonderful, and I'm happy that you're happy.
Well, I'm glad. Oh, I forgot that part.
It does look really nice. Like, the TV monitor is not showing the colors as well as the tablet.
Okay.
The tablet's showing the colors much better.
See, we do have some green in this one.
Cheryl Bennett says it's beautiful.
Thank you, Cheryl. Let's see here. I do feel I need a little bit of this color in here because they're reflecting off of each other. So I just put a little bit. And that is how the photo looks too. It is bouncing. You see this pink is coming from, or peach is coming from that peach. And the white is reflecting through. In fact, you can see the leaf right there in the reflection. We have a little bit of blue going on here, and that's of course reflecting from here. And looking over here, you can actually see my hand, I think, taking the picture right there.
Interesting.
This is a window. This is my studio window. Let's see here. But anyway, so we do want a little bit of this color in the white so that it looks like it's reflecting the other areas. And those are just the little details that if you pick up on them and include them in your piece, it really helps it feel more realistic. So we'll put a little bit of that in there. I don't know how well that's going to stand out though. See, there's a bright highlight right here, but that's a studio light right here.
Heather says, I'm watching an adult in Arizona coloring on a thin piece of wood that she drew on with a fancy soldering iron. Never in my wildest imagination I thought I would be doing that in 20 years.
Now we're going to put in the shadows real quick, and then I'll call this done.
Okay.
Let's see here. Make sure that's clean. So, of course, blue is going to cast a blue shadow. So we want to tint that blue. But right here it's looking a little cloudy. It does go darker here. I wonder if I need to use the darker blue. Where did I put it? There it is. So we use a bit of that darker blue. Alright, and this is clear. We do have a little bit of this coming down here, real light. And that shadow. Just enough so we know it's there, but it doesn't stand out. And then our leaf. That's a gray in the photo. But I think I'm going to enhance it with the brown. I think this will work out better than putting so I'll do this. I think that, yeah, I think the brown works better. I didn't go dark with my shading on the shadows because I was trying to get that review done. But, yeah, brain got focused. Having a hard time talking. So now, of course, absolutely no turning on the burner. But I am going to be reviewing and looking at and trying out other options for transferring your patterns and line work to your wood. Because I know how frustrating and time consuming it can be. But please stay away from the printer inks and heat transfer. It's just not safe. Let's see here, we got a little bit shadow here. Let's get the shadow in. I'm not trying to make all of them dark, just that. And then I did, because I didn't, because this is not as dark of a burn, I did do some negative burning in this area so the leaf would stand out. I don't want a whole lot.
Yeah, you should probably leave that alone.
Leave that alone? Yes, I'm going to leave that alone. And there's a little bit here. I don't think I'm going to put any more. I am going to darken underneath the leaf itself, just so that it stands out more. Now I can take a little bit of the black for where I want it darker, lay the black down, and then go back over this black with the brown. And what it does, that's glazing. And in doing that, it's no longer black that I'm putting on the piece, but a dark brown.
Oh.
So using your different colors to glaze, even on wood, really helps the colors look better and stand out more. Let's see here. And then blend that black in. Black, blah, blah. That did not sound right to my ears.
How does it laugh at you?
I know.
So Grace. Yes, it's the wrong tree, Grace.
Wrong tree. Do I want to know?
No, it was a reference to my leaf.
Oh. Alright.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Gotcha. So,
Well played.
and just moving this color around. I do feel like this needs to be darker underneath, just so our leaf pops out more.
To give it better relief.
Give it better relief. So it pops. Closer to it. It is darker. In this particular case, we don't have a cast light so much underneath the leaf. Actually, I do have a little bit one, but I'm not going to worry about it. Alright. So my black is now brown. And you can layer blues or purples or reds to the black so that it's not a straight black. Here's my blender. Now, if I go over, let's see here, let's find out what happens, because we have no burning on part of this. I extended. So let's see what the wood does with the blender pen. I'm cleaning off my tip because it's red. Just moving it around until no color is showing on it. Like I said, you can use like the Prismacolor colorless blender. If you have that to blend. Now you can tell that the wood is a little wet from the alcohol. But what I also have to worry about here, because I'm going over raw wood that has not been burned at all, is the alcohol is going to bleed along the grain. For a shadow, that's okay. But if you were working on something else, that might not work out the way you want it to. I'm just going to darken this one a little bit. And I'll click the lights off so we can see. See right there, the grain really popped out. Let's see here. Okay.
Well, you win, Grace. I'm all out of puns.
You're out of puns? Did that really happen?
Well, leaf puns.
Oh. Alright, so you can tell here, I wet the grain. Where there's no color. Alright, let's look at it. I need to cut off some lights so we can see better. Maybe this one? There we go. Alright. Look, I colored the whole thing. I finished it
You
alive.
scared me a little bit there.
I finished it
getting
alive. I finished it alive.
Wow.
That like hardly ever happens.
I know.
I mean, I could still color and play with this, but hopefully I've covered. Actually, let's zoom in for a minute so you guys can really see. So hopefully that shows up well. There we go. It might not be. I'm going to click on the autofocus. Maybe. There we go. Alright, so hopefully that'll pick up. Let's see here. You can see a little bit more of the darkness. Now I could add a little bit more black or gray to the shadow, but I think I'm going to let it be. Let's see here.
Steve says, mark this day on your calendar, folks.
Why?
Because you finished it.
I finished and I'm not totally unhappy either.
You're getting
That's like two things.
so many positive things on chat about this.
It went out of focus. Well, I'm glad you guys like it.
Yep.
Let's see if I can get the focus back. I did zoom it in a lot so that...
See, you can really see the color really well.
Yeah, it does seem more. So, for my high highlights in my stones, which I got more of in the clear one, I would take, do this, pencils here, to break or fall. I would take something. Come on, work with me here. There we go. I would take a couple of thin coats of, you know, whatever brand polyurethane, polyacrylic that you want to use, spray acrylic. That way you seal in the color, and I know you guys can't really see it right there. Seal in the color, and then I would add I don't have any out because I didn't expect to use any. Any kind of your opaque white gouache, acrylic ink, acrylics, because you have sealed the board, you're protecting it so it's sitting on top. It's going to be brighter. So you may have to dull down the color a little bit if it's too bright for you, but at least that way things aren't lifting and causing issue. And then just do another coat of the polyacrylic spray. And then, because I know for a fact I can't tell you what colors off the top of my head, but I can tell you that I know I use color pencils that have light fastness issues. So, after I've got all the things in that I want to have in, I'll do a coat or two of the UV archival spray. And I know this is a lot to do, but you just spent a lot of time on your piece. You want it to last. You don't want it to fade. And I have had pieces fade on me. It is not a happy thing, I can tell you that. So a couple of layers of the archival spray, let that dry, and then I would brush on my regular polyacrylic. But I think at this point I'd only need like maybe 2 coats, sanding in between the first and the second coat, and calling it done. It takes a couple of days for me to seal a piece, but in doing that, I hope to make sure my piece is around a lot longer than 25 years. And I don't have to worry about a customer or a client being upset with my colors fading or on the piece that they bought. You know, they pay good money for a piece. They want it to stay the way, as close as possible to the way that it was the day they purchased it. And I would also use this for stains as well. A lot of watercolors, you can tell if they are light fast, but when you put it on the wood and it soaks in differently. So I would say anything that has color, in any kind of color, to use a couple of coats of the UV spray to help lock it in so that you don't have this happen to your piece. And it will happen. If you wanted your piece that bright and you don't protect it, it will end up losing and if you're using 2 colors that you've blended together, and one is a light fast color and one is not a light fast color, and you've got, a pretty blend of, say a green that you really wanted, because you used a non-light fast color, that color is going to fade out and leave the other color. So your piece will change. In fact, I don't know if I can make it. Yes, I can. I forgot about this. This was the dyes and inks that I tested. I put a covered strip of tape over this. This is what happens when colors fade. Hopefully you can see. This is all faded color.
Yeah, you can see it.
That means they are not light fast. I had to protect them with something. In this case, it was tape. I did not use the UV spray. And this was in my window for less than 6 months. And that's what happened. You don't even hear, it's a little lighter. But you don't want this to happen to your piece. You've worked hard. You want that color. You need to protect it. So, if we have any other questions, I'll get those answered. And I think...
Oh, sorry. Eve wants to know if you're going to frame it.
You know what? I guess mine.
And there's a ton of tree and plant related puns.
Then I will go back and read them.
Yeah.
What is Kamar varnish used for? That's
It's a sealant for paintings.
for acrylics, watercolors, oils.
Yeah.
I think mainly for acrylics and oils though.
Yeah.
So I think I can add a little darker green to this one, but I'm going to leave it for now.
Wow. So are you going to leave it?
Maybe. I might add a little bit.
Because there was a bet in chat that you would go back and do something else on it.
Who wins more money if I don't touch it?
I don't know.
Did you put any down?
No, I would never bet on you. Don't tell her.
Let's see here. Lisa says she was asked to make a piece for someone who lives up in the mountains. She wants to hang it outside. So is there something I should do differently? There is an outdoor sealant, and I don't think it's in my cabinet right now. Look.
You could have got it.
I know, but I'm not sure if it's in here.
Bernadette could have got it.
I know. I don't think it's in here. This out anyway. Okay. I'll bring this out anyway. Okay, Bernadette. Alright. This is the stuff that I normally use to seal. There is a UV outdoor version of the polyacrylic. That is what you want to use. You do not want to use that same UV polyacrylic on indoor pieces because they will yellow. With the outdoor, and it specifically needs to say outdoor and UV. I'm trying to see. This one doesn't say. These tend to be for indoor, and so they don't yellow. But if you use the UV outdoor polyacrylic and it is sitting in the sun activates the UV protection and keeps it from yellowing. So I will put that in the on the kit page so that you can find it easier. I don't have it in here. It's in a different room. That's why I can't show it. So it'll say UV protectant. And then it'll also say outdoors. Those are the only ones that you can use for outdoor. You do not want to use them indoor. It will ruin your piece indoor. So you can use that. So anything else? Heather, I do have links for my different varnishes on the kit.com website. The link's down in the description if you want to take a look at that. And anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully this video has helped you take one more step in your burning adventure. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's down at the bottom down there. And hit the notification bell. That way you get notified of every new video that I upload, which there will be one on Thursday morning. Secret one is up Thursday morning. As well as notifications of me going live every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Arizona time. Also, please make sure to like up this video and leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next week. I don't have anything planned, so please tell me what you want to see. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Happy burning.
And have a burnerific day.